You just sat in recording. I think something cool just happened. I should practice my laugh.